All right, let's talk about Brock Purdy going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Again, for Purdy, it almost feels like there's a lot of people waiting for the shoe to drop on him. Is he going to finally have like a stretch where he performs poorly? I think he's played well this year. He did have that one very bad game against the Chiefs, but I thought a good bounce back performance here against the Dallas Cowboys. Although, worth mentioning, it did not start off great for Purdy. Before I get too far into this, I will mention I do have a movie channel. If you like watching movies, check that out. Link is in the description below. It's called Jackson Kruger Movies. But yeah, anyway, the way this play concept is designed to work is you want to get Deebo Samuel, who's going from the offense's offense's right to the offense's left, open. It's against man coverage, so it is a one-on-one matchup here. Brock Purdy takes a snap. He runs this play action, looks over towards Samuel, and as of right now, there's a window. It's not the biggest window in the world, but there definitely is a window. You would love to see a competitive ball here from Purdy. This throw is just a bit off, and it makes it worse that the Dallas corner fell down, so it would have been an easy completion had it just been a competitive ball, but it just wasn't there. So again, it's tough. He didn't know the corner was going to fall down, right? So he's trying to make sure he makes an accurate throw to not throw an interception, but unfortunately ended up throwing an incompletion. This play was also weird where it's going to be, again, it's a man coverage concept. They're looking towards Kittle on a 3rd down and 6, something we will get back to later on in this video. But just a bit of a weird play where watch what happens. Purdy takes the snap. He looks in Kittle's direction, and you see Kittle's kind of getting ready to essentially stop right here while Purdy is in the throwing motion. And that's the difficult thing about quarterbacking, right, is you do have to throw with anticipation. You do have to have a bit of a trust in your receivers. Here, Purdy throws it further deep. I still think it might have been a touch underthrown on top of it, and that results in an incomplete pass. Felt like they had an opportunity to get a completion there and weren't able to get it. So again, early on, these plays were not working, and it wasn't just Purdy's fault. Again, this one's a miscommunication. Might have been on Purdy, might have been on Kittle. Who knows? We're not in the huddle. But also this play felt like a big play at the time of the game where it's a 4th down and 3, 6.5 minutes left in the second quarter, and the 49ers are losing right now. It's 7-3. It's again a man coverage concept. You have Deebo Samuel running a route over the middle. And when Purdy takes a snap, it works until it doesn't. It's wide open, and the throw is a touch behind, it has to be mentioned, but obviously that's one Samuel has to catch as well. They convert that, then they can keep the drive going, get points. Instead, they fail to convert it and end up turning the ball over to the Dallas Cowboys. So that wasn't ideal, and you are wondering at this point, okay, it's halftime, the Cowboys are up. Is that just going to be what happens here? Is it going to be another rough performance by the 49ers? And we're all going to talk about, okay, 49ers maybe aren't as good anymore. But then George Kittle took over. It's going to, again, the Cowboys, they're trying to play man coverage. It's what they like to do. At the same time, their corners have been really banged up. So it's part of why they've been getting torched so much is because teams can exploit mismatches. And that's what the 49ers are going to do here with Kittle running a route over the middle. So a couple things to note. For one thing, you're not thinking this is going to be a too deadly of a play as of right now, right? This quick just over the middle shot. Kittle is open, but okay, if Kittle makes the catch, run in to make a tackle, he gains 7 yards. Not ideal, but you're okay. However, I think this is an important thing to note, is we always talk about yards after the catch as though it's completely lucky for a quarterback when you get it. It's all the receiver doing the hard work. Well, the quarterback does have a hand in it. Watch this ball placement. Watch how it allows Kittle to continue running at full speed, and then he just kind of runs away from everybody. He runs away from the Donovan Wilson, the Dallas player who's trying to keep up with him, and eventually does get taken out of bounds, but not before he gains a ton of yards on that one. So, again, it's really good stuff here from Kittle to be able to make that work, but also, good stuff from Purdy. You got to give him credit, although definitely it's a George Kittle play for sure. This play, I saw getting a lot of people talking about it. The commentators, especially Chris Collinsworth, thought that it should be a penalty right here. Well, let's talk about it. Again, it's man coverage, and pick plays can be really effective against man coverage. Pick plays are also kind of illegal. So again, the way that it works is that you are allowed to create contact 1 yard past the line of scrimmage, but this is more than 1 yard past the line of scrimmage, and that's not coming into play here. You see how, I believe that was Chris Conley running that route, just really run into Donovan Wilson, the guy who's tasked with covering Kittle. Kittle ends up getting wide open. This was not ruled a penalty, and the reason why it wasn't ruled a penalty was the explanation that the official in the booth gave was that he was kind of contacted before, which resulted in him running into Wilson. Again, the way this play works is that you aren't allowed to run a route that is solely designed to get in the way of a defender. You are allowed to run a route that happens to get in the way of a defender, but it has to appear as though you're actually running a route. The ruling was that because of the contact at the line, Conley never was given an opportunity to, start to run his route, and it was unclear if he was going to run a route or not, and because of that, they err on the side of the receiver. I think it helped that Kittle was screaming at the ref and the whole crowd was booing, and the ref said, okay, maybe we missed something. I don't know. I think it would have been a fine flag to call, but hey, sometimes it's not about what you can do legally. Sometimes it's about what you can get away with, and they get away with one here. But also this play I thought was really fascinating. I think this was a designed run with Purdy. I could be wrong. I can't say for sure, but it does look like that. You see how when this play begins, Purdy fakes a couple things. He fakes a hand, sort of a pitch in front, and then also fakes throwing it towards Samuel, going towards the top of the screen. And as of right here, I mean, look at those two Dallas players towards the top of the screen and how much they are trying to get up towards Deebo Samuel. Because, what else is the option? If he didn't pitch it back and isn't throwing it to Deebo Samuel, okay, maybe he's throwing it further down the field, but at that point, it's not their assignment. Anyway, they're not ready for something like this. Watch as Purdy then steps up. One thing I have to say, Purdy could have slid a little bit earlier there, ends up still getting hit. You always wonder on those plays, is there still going to be a flag thrown? But no, that was a legal play. Purdy just slid late and slid face forward. Got to be a little bit better than that. But it did get me thinking a little bit. We all remember the Trey Lance draft pick, and part of why we thought that they wanted Lance is because he can move. Well, hey, Purdy can move. Maybe every now and then throw one of these out there, especially one, we saw in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did that with Mahomes on a few key plays, including the 4th down and 1 in overtime. I don't know. This could be something that San Francisco ends up utilizing down the stretch. I don't think it's crazy. Also, this was another really good play. Again, this is kind of more of what we're talking about, but this is really, I think, why San Francisco was able to kind of run away with things towards the end here, where it's going to be a 3rd down and 7 that the 49ers are in. It's once again man coverage, and I talked about Kittle, who a few times was able to win, only showed one play, but could have showed a few. This is Deebo Samuel, who I think there has been some talk about, maybe he hasn't fully looked like himself as of late. Obviously, he's had his injuries, that factors in. But on this play, watch how, right here, look at how much space there is. And this is one thing I like about Purdy too, is Purdy isn't afraid to say, okay, you know what? Yes, this is a 3rd down and 7, and you're not past where we need to get just yet, but I trust that you can run the rest of the yards and make it work. Purdy hits Samuel. Amani Oyuware, the corner for Dallas, ends up falling down, which always makes things easier for the offense, and they're able to pick up a big gain there, and most importantly, pick up the 1st down in that situation. Again, the offense just kind of started rolling there. They started off a little bit sloppy, but I thought really got under control, and were ultimately able to win the game. So, yeah, very good stuff here by the San Francisco 49ers. At least that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.